In this special edition of History Night, you'll discover why early tea bags were nicknamed tea bombs, how a meatless sausage helped feed a starving Germany, and why disposable pads only became the norm for women in the 20th century. Let's dive in. Groundbreaking innovations sparked by World War I. World War I wasn't just a global catastrophe, it was a turning point in human ingenuity. Over 18 million dead. Europe's map redrawn. And the survivors? Known as the Lost Generation. But even in darkness, necessity sparked innovation. Let's explore 8 creations that owe their popularity or very existence to the Great War. The modern zipper. Back in 1851, Elias Howe, an American inventor, patented what we'd now call an early zipper. But he had bigger fish to fry. A heated legal fight over his sewing machine design. After 3 years in England, Howe came back to find Singer machines on sale, machines that looked suspiciously like his. He sued, fought it out in court for 5 years, won in 1854. But the zipper idea? Left behind. Fast forward 40 years, and Whitcomb L. Judson steps in. He files his own zipper patent, but it's bulky, fragile, and even needs a key to work. It flops. Then comes Gideon Sundback, Swedish-American engineer. He shrinks the teeth, adds more, swaps the key for a slider. It works. The year? 1914, right as World War I begins. The U.S. Army starts using zippers in gear and boots. The Navy loves how waterproof it is. After the war, French fashion giant Hermès grabs the patent. But even then, for years, zippers were only for men. On women's clothes, it was seen as provocative, even inappropriate. Wristwatches go to war. Queen Elizabeth I owned a wristwatch back in the 1500s. At the time, it was a novelty. For men, a joke. They said they'd rather wear skirts. 300 years later, Kaiser Wilhelm hands them out to German naval officers. The British used them in the Boer War. But World War I made them essential. The British military adopted a tactic called the creeping barrage. Artillery fire followed by infantry advances. Miss your cue? You get hit by your own side, or face ready enemy guns. Timing was everything. Officers needed perfect coordination. By 1917, wristwatches weren't just for commanders. Even ordinary soldiers got them. No more fumbling for a pocket watch. A few saved seconds could mean the difference between life and death. And after the war? The stigma was gone. Wristwatches were no longer just for women. Instant coffee rises to the occasion. Instant coffee existed before World War I, but it didn't take off right away. The US tried it during the Civil War. The soldiers, they thought it tasted like axle grease. In 1890, New Zealander David Strang patented a version. Then in 1901, Satoru Kato, a Japanese-American chemist, filed his own. Still, no mainstream success. That changed in 1906. George Constant Lewis Washington came up with a better production process. By 1910, he launched his brand. But even then, most people weren't impressed with the flavor. Then came World War I. Soldiers needed something fast, reliable, and caffeinated. Both the US and Canadian armies placed huge orders. By 1917, Washington was selling 6 times more to the military than to civilians. He made a fortune. The US War Department even created a coffee division. Its head claimed the drink helped troops recover from gas attacks. Vegetarian sausages and a nation's hunger. This wasn't a story of compassion. It was desperation. Before the war, German pigs thrived on barley, most of it imported from Russia. But when World War I erupted, that trade route disappeared. By 1915, Germany was deep in a food crisis. Pigs were now seen as a burden, eating grain that humans needed to survive. So the government made a brutal call: slaughter 5 million pigs. The event became known as the Schweinemord, the pig massacre. But instead of solving the problem, it made everything worse. Much of the meat spoiled, and without pig manure, crop yields dropped. Barley and potatoes, scarce. By the winter of 1917, Germans were living on turnips. Then came a creative solution from the mayor of Cologne, Konrad Adenauer. He invented a vegetarian sausage, made from soy, wheat flour, corn, barley, and rice. No meat, just necessity. Germany wouldn't grant him a patent, but in 1918, Britain did, right in the middle of the war. A meatless sausage from an enemy patent office helped feed a starving population. The strange origins of daylight saving time. Benjamin Franklin often gets the credit, but the truth is, he was joking. While living in Paris, Franklin sarcastically suggested taxing curtains, rationing candles, and waking people up at sunrise with church bells. It was never serious. It was satire. The real push for daylight saving time came much later. In the early 1900s, Britain discussed the idea, but rejected it. Surprisingly, it was Germany and Austria-Hungary who made the first move. In 1916, right in the middle of World War I, they introduced daylight saving time to conserve coal. Other countries soon followed. After the war, some dropped the practice, others kept it. But when World War II came around, daylight saving time made a big comeback. And this time, it stuck. A wartime policy born from a joke that changed how we tell time. Stainless steel, a wartime innovation with a shiny legacy. The breakthrough that led to stainless steel didn't come from peacetime research. It came from the buildup to World War I. As nations rushed to modernize their weapons, scientists and engineers searched for stronger, more durable metals. And that search paid off. Around the same time, inventors in Germany, Britain, and the United States each developed a formula for rust-resistant steel. During the war, this new material proved its worth, especially in airplane engines, where corrosion could be deadly. In 1929, a luxury hotel in London installed a stainless steel awning, and suddenly, the world noticed. What began as a military solution quickly became a design revolution. Sanitary pads, a medical hack that changed women's lives. Before the 20th century, managing menstruation meant improvisation. Most women relied on folded cloth, reusable, but far from convenient. Disposable pads were introduced in the late 1800s, but they came at a price. Most women couldn't afford them. Then came World War I. On the front lines, British and American nurses discovered something unexpected. Cellulose bandages used to treat wounds were highly absorbent and cheap. After the war, manufacturers took that same material, leftover cellulose, and repurposed it. The result? A new kind of sanitary pad. In the 1920s, a product called Kotex hit the market. Made of cotton and fabric, it offered a practical, disposable alternative. Other brands followed, and slowly, what started as a battlefield workaround became a part of everyday life for millions of women. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our other videos.